Hey, what's happening on this episode? I want to be talking about how to increase your faith. And it's so amazing because we all say, we're living a life of faith. We want to live a life of faith. We want more of a life of faith. But there's an interesting dynamic that takes place in order for us to increase our faith. But we first got to look at how the world operates, because that shows our contrast in terms of how we are going to operate in the kingdom currency and in the kingdom operating system, as I like to call it. See, this world that we live in, its currency is money. Its currency is manna. If we go all the way back to the beginning of when the Israelites were walking around the Tower of Babel, etc., that whole operating system was basically get as much comfort as you can and insulate yourself from challenges as possible. Just get insulated. You can't trust God, so trust yourself, rely on yourself, gather everything that you can, and live in that mode of self-preservation. It's a life of self. It's very selfish. You're not deploying anything. You're not giving anything. And it's a scarcity mentality. It's a constant need. And you're operating in a space of need all the time. And need has symptoms of desperation. It can be you're taking anything you can get. And so there's some interesting dynamics that come to that when we contrast that towards the currency of faith. The world's economy is based on manna and money, insulating from challenges. Faith, and the faith that I want to acquire, actually has a different dynamic in how I actually get it. If we look at in Hebrews 11, which is kind of like the hall of fame of all the folks of faith, this is where I want you to dive in and take a quick look to remind yourself of what it actually requires by faith. Let's look at it. And it says in Hebrews 11:6, let me go on. It basically says this: and without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must, number one, believe that he exists. Believe that he exists. And number two, that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Whether it was Noah or Abraham or Sarah, any of these folks that were living a life of faith had a life riddled with challenge. It was contrasting all the time. Here's where I want to help you get, and that is, can you have the peace of God, shalom, sleeping in a boat in the middle of a hurricane, regardless how insane and complex and how hard challenges are? They are absolutely necessary for us to increase our faith. So over here, the world's trying to get us free of challenges. And if you're free of challenges, you can just coast, take it easy, lay off the gas pedal, and not make a difference. Over here, if I want to increase my faith, it's going to require me to have as many challenges as possible. But here's the key. Recently read in a great book, Beyond Business, there are three types of challenges. One's the one that mistakes that happen to us. Hey, they happen. And I made a mistake. Number two, the things, the power could go out, anything could happen to me. I didn't have anything to do with it. It just happened. Life is happening. Okay, we got some challenges we got to deal with. That'll increase our faith and how we respond and how we act in the midst of that. But the third here is I really want to talk about. Talk about the mistakes, talk about the world. That's just happening. You live in a fallen world, you're going to have challenges. But the third, here's the key. If you really want to increase faith, if you really want to go big, if you really want to become a baller, and if you really truly want to become rich eternally, it's this. How much of our life, with our time, talent, and treasure, are we signing up for things that require miracles to happen? Things we cannot afford, things we don't have the resources for, things we don't have the know-how for, the wisdom for, the logistics for, you name it. What is it going to take for us to increase our faith, stepping into those things which go beyond our control, beyond our immediate needs? The world wants you to get all your needs met and get those taken care of. Us, in living a life of faith, says we're signing up for things we can't afford. We've got 5 fish, we've got 5 loaves. What we do have is willingness, and we have faith that God will come through. He always has, he always will. He's never failed us. His word has never not come through. This has always come through, and he has always come through. We must truly believe that he exists and that he seriously rewards those that earnestly seek him. So my question is, are we seeking him with our finances, our time, our talent, our treasure? Are we literally, and by the way, wealth goes beyond just our money, but are we taking all the wealth that we have, our wealth capital of relationships, etc., and are we using those to point towards those things which are eternal? How do I buy more kingdom stock? Partnering with him. It is my faith, which is my currency, and that is the evidence of it. You want to stand before the judgment seat of Christ rich? It will be, how much faith do you have? You want to make this year the best year ever? Ask yourself this question. Regardless of finances and spreadsheets and numbers and accomplishments and things that you own and things that you did, bottom line, here's what the Lord's really interested in. How much has your faith increased this year? How about this week? Let's take a crack at it. Get more currency of faith. Challenges are necessary, but they're the ones that you're probably signing up for. Come with your 5 loaves. See how the Lord is going to provide the increase as you step into first taking care of his kingdom and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. It's an amazing, amazing adventure. I'm glad to be on it with you. Leave a comment down below. Hope you have an incredible week. Talk to you soon.